What's up YouTube? So today we're looking at a couple of tricks which some of you probably already know, and it's loading up vocal samples and any sort of other samples into Serum as wavetables and manipulating them and doing all sorts of cool effects to those sounds. And I'm going to show you specifically vocal sounds because you can get some really cool stuff with it. So if you need a reference to what sort of stuff we're going to work on, these are a couple of sounds. So let's open up a basic blank instance of Serum that we can sort of get started on. And also what I want to do is I actually just want to find a vocal sample that we can use. And actually, you know, the easiest is probably just going to be to record a vocal sample in. So let me just add an audio track here, and I'm going to record a vocal sample in here. So let's just go audio inputs. I believe my mic is number 1. So I'm just going to actually lean over to my mic to get a better recording. Go over here. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Cool, perfect. So now what we can do is we can actually, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that I say that literally all the time. I actually probably should have recorded me saying sort of as well, because I say that probably more. Anyway, let's just clip the beginnings and tails of this audio file like this, and we can just create a short fade in and fade out, like literally like one clip on each side, and then let's go bounce selection. You may also want to, you know, put some effects on here, like a compressor or something, just to even out the sort of volumes and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I kind of like the sort of variable response that you get from the different kind of wavetables and stuff, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So what we can do is we can actually just drag this over onto and hover over one of these oscillators in Serum, and you'll notice that this menu pops up. So I found with vocals, FFT 1024 kind of sounded the best, but there's various other settings for different types of instruments and stuff like that. Like if you've got a sort of solid pitch, then using this pitch average is probably the best way to go. But anyway, so for vocal sounds and stuff like that, I found FFT 1024 sounds the best. So let's pop that in there. Now, what we've done is we've created a wavetable using different sort of snapshots of that entire waveform. And if we open up this editor over here, you'll see, let me actually go, and you'll notice that it kind of like has the same, you know, goes, there's that kind of waveform there. So it mimics our sort of audio file in these sort of single cycles. What we're probably going to want to do is create some sort of movement in those sort of cycles. So let's say, for example, create an LFO. Let me just make this big again. Let's make an LFO to cycle through the wavetable position. And let's get this LFO to re-trigger every time we hit a key. And then let's move this over like this. So we've created that kind of like A to B path like that. So it's going to cycle through the entire audio file every time we hit a note. So let's listen to what this sounds like so far. So it's obviously way too fast, so we can turn down the rate over here.
If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
So we've created a robotic version of me in Serum, which is pretty cool. So we can actually change these like octaves over here, move them up or down. We can manipulate the sort of warp modes and stuff and all sorts of stuff like that. So here, what I want to do is I actually like to create I think it's a spectral morph on these vocal wavetables. I think it sounds a little bit better than just crossfade.
If that makes sense.
If that makes.
So let me actually just put a MIDI down over here so I don't have to keep hitting that key.
If that makes sense. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. If that. If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
Okay, so this probably doesn't really make much sense right now, but you're not limited to, you know, using that kind of like audio file, you know, in that sort of A to B kind of motion that we've created here. You can use a chaos oscillator. You can kind of create a stepped motion, which is pretty cool. I like doing this kind of stepped motion thing because that gives you a little bit more control as to like which vowels to kind of sound off at what time and stuff like that. So yeah, what I actually want to do is I want to pitch it to the same pitch as the track, put in a kick and bass over here, and then play around with kind of play around with a couple of like effects, some filters, and, you know, create like a stepped motion like that. But it helps to have it playing over a kick and bass to be able to hear, you know, that kind of groove of that motion. If that I was about to say if that makes sense, but that would be so ironic. But anyway. If you find that the actual waveform itself like isn't loud enough, I find that when you normalize each gain separately, you kind of lose that kind of vocal kind of vibe that's going on. But when you do max frames from all frames, then it does kind of sound more audible as a kind of like speech vibe. But because we kind of now sort of jumbling it with that stepped motion, we can normalize each and see what sort of different effects we're going to get here. Okay, there's a huge amount of low end in that sound, so we can actually just EQ it out over here. So I just realized it's like not the same key as the bass. That's why it kind of sounds a little bit off like that. I think the bass is in a G sharp. So that's why it had that kind of like slight tonal imbalance between the kick and bass and this sound. So it's probably going to sound quite a bit sort of more like it's in tune now. Cool, so like I said, you're not limited to using vocal sounds like this. You can load up like synth one-shots, bass sounds, all sorts of stuff, drum sounds, all sorts of stuff like that. And you're also not limited to using it the way I did. You can use it for kind of more spoken word type of robotic sounds. Yeah, so yeah, I hope that shed some light on a feature that Serum has. A big thanks to IDM Mag, proud supporters of the dance music scene and my channel. Awesome, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. As always, I'm going to be posting this preset onto my Patreon for my $5 supporters. So if you want to know what that's all about, check out the link that's going to be somewhere on the screen. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.